the NBA.
Sound good.
Home to some of the greatest athletes, jaw-dropping plays, and, slowly but surely, a sinking ship. This video will be going in-depth about the downfall of the NBA. When was the last time you sat down and really enjoyed an NBA game? And I don't mean skimming through highlights on your phone or catching the last few minutes when the game's already decided. I mean sitting through a full 4 quarters, investing in every pass, every shot, and every moment. If you're struggling to answer, don't worry, you're not alone. Because, let's face it, the NBA just isn't what it used to be. Once upon a time, it was the ultimate spectacle. The league was larger than life, with names like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Shaquille O'Neal making every game feel like a blockbuster event. But now, it's different. The excitement feels watered down, the passion is fading, and the fans are walking away. But why? Why is the NBA, this global giant, losing its grip? Let's break it all down, piece by piece, and uncover the dark truths behind the league's decline. Let's start with one of the biggest controversies. Load management. You've heard the term. It's when star players sit out games, not because they're injured, but because they're resting. Now, on paper, this makes sense. These players are investments. Teams want to keep them healthy for the playoffs and extend their careers. But here's the problem. What about the fans? Imagine you've saved up for months to buy tickets to see your favorite player, LeBron, Curry, Giannis, whoever, only to show up and find out they're sitting on the bench in street clothes. Not because they're hurt, not because they're suspended, just because it's a Tuesday. How does that make sense? When you buy a ticket, you're not just paying to watch a basketball game. You're paying for an experience, a memory. And when that memory is taken away because of load management, it feels like a betrayal. And let's not forget, this isn't just about live games. TV ratings take a hit too. Why would you tune in to watch a primetime game if half the stars aren't playing? It's like buying a concert ticket and the main act decides to lip-sync half the songs. But load management is just the tip of the iceberg. The bigger issue here is that the regular season doesn't even matter anymore. Or at least that's how it feels. Think about it. The NBA regular season is 82 games long. That's a lot of basketball. But ask yourself this, do those games actually mean anything? Most fans would say no. Teams don't need to dominate the regular season to make the playoffs anymore. As long as they sneak into the top 8, they're good. This mindset has sucked the life out of the regular season. Back in the day, every game felt important. Players left it all on the court because they knew every win and loss mattered. Now, it's like everyone's just waiting for the playoffs to start, and fans can feel that. They can tell when players are going through the motions. It's hard to stay invested in a game when it feels like the players themselves aren't. Now, let's talk about one of the most divisive issues in the NBA, super teams. You know what I'm talking about? When a handful of superstar players team up on 1 or 2 franchises, leaving the rest of the league to fight for scraps. On one hand, super teams are fun. Watching LeBron, Wade, and Bosh dominate with the Miami Heat, that was exciting. But on the other hand, super teams kill competition. When the same teams are in the finals year after year, it gets boring. Fans of small market teams, places like Sacramento, Orlando, or Charlotte, lose hope. They know their team doesn't stand a chance against the juggernauts, and when fans lose hope, they stop watching. The NBA thrives on unpredictability. It's the upsets, the underdog stories, the Cinderella runs that keep fans coming back. But when super teams dominate the league, unpredictability goes out the window. Another factor in the NBA's decline? Social media. Now, don't get me wrong, social media can be a great tool. It's a way for players to connect with fans, for highlights to go viral, and for the league to grow its global audience. But it's also a double-edged sword. Because of social media, fans don't need to watch full games anymore. Why sit through 48 minutes of basketball when you can scroll through Instagram or TikTok and catch the best moments in 30 seconds? And let's be real, social media is full of distractions. If a game isn't exciting from start to finish, fans will switch to something else. It's not enough to have a close game or a dramatic finish. Every second has to be entertaining or you risk losing viewers. Let's shift gears and talk about money. Because let's face it, being an NBA fan is expensive. Tickets? Through the roof. Parking? Ridiculous. Food and drinks? A total ripoff. A family night out at an NBA game can cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And that's just for one game. Then there's the merchandise. Want a jersey? That'll cost you over $100. Want the latest signature sneakers? Better be ready to drop $200. The NBA has turned being a fan into a financial burden. And here's the kicker. When fans feel like they're being exploited, they stop showing up. They stop watching. They find something else to invest their time and money in. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the non-stop drama. These days, the NBA feels more like reality TV than a sports league. Player feuds, trade rumors, cryptic tweets. It's exhausting. Now drama can be entertaining, but when it starts overshadowing the games themselves, it's a problem. Fans tune in for basketball, not for soap operas. And when the league prioritizes drama over competition, it loses its identity. Another significant factor dragging the NBA down is the way the media covers the league. Once upon a time, sports journalism focused on the game, the strategies, the rivalries, the performances. Now, it's all about the soap opera. Turn on any sports talk show or scroll through social media, and you'll notice something. The focus isn't on basketball. Instead, it's on which player unfollowed who on Instagram, who threw shade in a press conference, or which trade rumor is currently making the rounds. This constant drama might generate clicks and engagement, but it doesn't foster a love for the sport itself. It shifts the narrative away from the court and onto everything happening around it. Fans who love basketball for basketball's sake are left feeling alienated, like the game they fell in love with has been replaced by a reality TV show. And let's not forget the over-reliance on star power. Networks and media outlets often act as if the NBA is only made up of 5 or 6 players. LeBron, Curry, Giannis, and maybe a couple of others dominate every headline, while incredible talents on smaller market teams are overlooked. Fans in places like Indiana or Memphis are left wondering, does the league even care about us? Injuries are more common than ever. Have you noticed how often injuries seem to happen these days? Star players are constantly going down, and it's not just fluke accidents. It's torn ACLs, ruptured Achilles tendons, and other long-term issues. This isn't just bad luck. The way the game is played today puts an incredible strain on players' bodies. Faster pace, more possessions, and constant three-point shooting mean more wear and tear. Combine that with year-round basketball, summer league, international tournaments, off-season workouts, and you have a recipe for disaster. Fans are tired of investing in teams and players, only to see them sidelined for months at a time. And when the biggest stars are out, the product on the court inevitably suffers. Here's another thing no one talks about enough: the generational divide among fans. Older fans grew up watching a different style of basketball, one that emphasized defense, physicality, and team play. Today's game, with its three-point barrages and lack of physicality, doesn't resonate with them. Meanwhile, younger fans are drawn to individual players and highlights, but they often lack the same sense of loyalty to teams or the league as a whole. This disconnect has created a fragmented fan base, making it harder for the NBA to unite its audience. A league at a crossroads. The NBA stands at a critical juncture. It can't rely on its past success to carry it into the future. If the league wants to regain its footing, it needs to address these issues head-on. From rethinking the regular season to finding new ways to engage fans, there's no shortage of work to be done. The question is, will the NBA rise to the challenge, or will it continue to drift further into irrelevance? Can the NBA be saved? So, is the NBA doomed? Not necessarily. But the league needs to make some big changes. First, they need to fix the regular season. Make every game matter again. Maybe shorten the season or change the playoff structure. Whatever it takes to bring back the sense of urgency. Second, the league needs to reconnect with its fans. Lower ticket prices, make merchandise more affordable, and focus on creating a better fan experience. Finally, the NBA needs to get back to basics. Focus on the game. Put the drama and the gimmicks aside, and remind fans why they fell in love with basketball in the first place. Because at the end of the day, the NBA isn't just a business. It's a sport. It's a community. It's a passion. And if the league can remember that, there's hope. But if it doesn't, well, the NBA might just fade away, and that would be the biggest loss of all.